For federally regulated employees, there's a right in the Canada Labour Code that they can claim for unjust dismissal. This is a right that is in addition to potentially being allowed for reasonable common law notice and allows the employee to ask for their job back. The purpose of unjust dismissal under the Canada Labour Code is to provide union-like protections to every federally regulated employee in Canada. Those employees can therefore ask for their jobs back if they're let go, and they can be awarded their jobs back in certain circumstances. There are limitations to unjust dismissal claims for federally regulated employees. An employee has to be working for 12 months for their employer to be able to make an unjust dismissal claim. Employers are also able to, they are allowed to have reorganizations. They're able to have economic layoffs. And so whether or not someone is able to make an unjust dismissal claim is a very technical decision, and one that can have a very powerful remedy afterwards as well. Federally regulated managers are not able to make claims. However, the definition of manager is a very high one. It's often seen as being a director or directing mind of the corporation, and not just because someone is a sales manager or an account manager. That wouldn't be sufficient for someone to be a manager under the Canada Labour Code. It's generally only the highest rungs of the company. Unjust dismissal claims are different than lawsuits insofar as in an unjust dismissal claim, what the employee is asking for is to be put back into their position or to be paid compensation. Many employees that we represent are not meaningfully asking to get their job back, but instead asking for back pay with the option of reinstatement if they want it at the time. The benefit to this is that that employee can get significantly longer notice than a similarly situated employee that gets reasonable notice, because if an employee is let go from their job and then there's an order for reinstatement 3 years later, they could potentially get 3 years back pay, whereas 3 years is extremely unlikely to be awarded in a lawsuit. The chances of being reinstated from an unjust dismissal are relatively small. Not very many people are reinstated. However, one reason for this is that many employees are not interested in reinstatement. The real value in an unjust dismissal claim is the potential threat of reinstatement, which can really help as a negotiating tool again with regard to the employer, such that the employee gets additional compensation. Employees are also able to be reinstated where both the employee and the employer want them to go back. Often employers very much are not interested in having the employee back, and therefore there's a tendency for them to pay the employee a premium for them to give up an unjust dismissal claim.